When I see silt coming off of a site, I don't see red water. I see green. Green is in dollar bills. Dollar bills that have to be used for attorney's fees or for regulatory fines or for remedial action or to clean up the water so that it can be drinkable. It's wasted money, pure and simple.
And it not only affects adversely our natural environment, but also your relationship with those county officials, city officials, and also your homeowners that are really your first line customers.
Well, the biggest thing is you've got to work with your partners, the developer and your engineers early on in planning so that you get the proper erosion control structures designed into the project early.
It is a live site and it changes on a daily basis. And it's very difficult to have those measures drawn into two-dimensional plans if they're not constantly being monitored and watched after by the contractor and the design team in the field.
Uncontrolled water flows on construction sites are destroying Georgia's waterways at an alarming rate. Public outcry and media coverage are growing and have led to stronger enforcement of state and federal regulations. And as of August 1, 2000, a stormwater discharge permit must be obtained before construction can begin. The NPDES permit strictly regulates the amount of muddy water that can be discharged into a waterway from a construction site. What does this mean to you?
Now everybody's on a level playing field. Whether you're a home builder, a commercial developer, apartment building, everybody has to comply with the same laws.
Sediment can contain chemicals that can poison people, aquatic life, and animals. But that's just one serious outcome of uncontrolled runoff in Georgia streams. Downstream property owners experience damage from uncontrolled flows. If recreational fishing in Georgia dies, fishermen and the recreation industry, as well as hotels, restaurants, and businesses near waterways, will suffer. If it were a few businesses lost and a few properties damaged, we might weigh that against the benefits of growth and jobs created by the construction industry. But the problem has become so great, so threatening, that the booming economy of our region is at stake.
This is the Dog River Reservoir, and Douglas County gets most of its drinking water from this particular reservoir. And what you're seeing behind me is a dredging operation. This reservoir went into operation in 1991. Unfortunately, we've acquired so much silt since that time that we're hauling about 80,000 cubic yards of silt out of our reservoir.
That's about 100 truckloads a day, every working day for 4 months, paid for by taxpayers. And that's not the only cost. When sediment clogs the intake pipes and increases the strain on water treatment equipment, it is more expensive to produce safe drinking water and harder to guarantee that it is safe.
It's the proverbial pay me now, pay me later. The homeowner is going to pay for it one way or another.
As sediment fills in creeks and rivers, there's less room for water flow, causing flooding. As mud flows into reservoir lakes, it reduces the holding capacity, so we have less water during droughts. Where will the water come from to supply the homes you build 10 years from now?
Altoona's half full of silt right now. With that water supply, it's about 300,000 or 400,000 people, and we're projecting another 1 million people coming into Georgia in the next 10 years. You lost a lot of your opportunity to supply water because half of it's filled up with silt.
The key to clean water is to make sure your soil stays on your site. Most dirt is eroded by water flow, and to prevent erosion, you can slow the water down, maintain vegetated buffer zones along streams, rivers, and lakes, put perimeter controls in first, and then disturb the land in phases. Quickly revegetate or mulch after each area has been disturbed.
This is a demonstration site for us, not only for our ongoing school construction projects, but also for other developers of large sites. We wanted to disturb the land as little as possible, and we wanted to, in the most cost-effective manner, eliminate erosion and completely prevent sedimentation flow from the project.
At the Big Creek Elementary School site, all perimeter controls were in place before grading began for the building site. Success is achieved through a well-planned system of controls that includes seep berms, a floating siphon, and sand filters. Here's how these cost-effective, proven techniques are working.
The standard technique now is to take all the water, bring it to one point, and basically fire it down the barrel at the stream. Seep berm is entirely different. We're coming up very close to the construction area. It's like a whole bunch of mini sediment basins in series.
A seep berm is simply a diversion ditch or channel. Check dams slow stormwater along the channel. Then the water is slowly and passively released through dewatering controls that have been installed along the length of the berm.
But instead of going out in one point, we're going out at many points, and now we're recharging the forested watershed.
The advantages to the seep berm are that they are an instant perimeter control that allows the entire site to be opened up for the contractor. So it speeds him up by getting that perimeter control in quickly and stabilized to control the silt and sediment.
For larger storms, stormwater flows into a plunge pool and then into a sediment basin with a floating siphon, a low-tech, low-cost passive dewatering device. As dirt settles to the bottom of the basin, only the upper, cleanest level of water reaches the floating siphon and is released into the sand filter. A sand filter is a very simple device made of clean sand, gravel, and pipes with drilled holes. The top pipes receive water from a sediment basin or a seep berm and distribute the water over the sand. The water seeps through the sand into the gravel below. Then collection pipes embedded in the gravel collect the water and discharge it into vegetated areas.
Well, the engineer team and the landscape architect, they designed this site specifically for erosion control and to save as many trees as possible on this site. And what we have on this site is actually where people and the environment can live in harmony.
I think what's been most successful for us in terms of controlling silt and erosion has been the amount of green space that we have on our properties. And obviously there's less impervious surface and therefore less runoff.
To keep projects moving, the construction industry must take a new, performance-based approach to erosion prevention and sediment control. Regulators will now be looking at the quality of water running off your site, not just your erosion control plan. Fortunately, there are cost-effective and proven techniques to handle rain events, as well as computer modeling software to help you find the most effective solutions while you're in the planning stage.
It's vital that everyone from the project sponsor to the motor grader operator be involved in managing the site and executing the plan.
If I can say one thing that would help developers do their job better, is take more pride. Think about it as your own backyard.
We've accepted dirt as a byproduct of growth, and that must change because Georgia's economic boom will dry up without healthy waterways. Build a future for Georgia water